Hey friends, welcome to the Stationery Cafe, your podcast for everything stationery, journaling, planning related, and fun things happening in the community. I'm April from Penguins Creative, and today's episode we actually have our beloved guest, who you all know, Kelly from Kelly Loves Letters, with us today.
Hello.
It's a non-conventional happy hour recording today, I think, a little bit.
Yes.
As we record, it's New Year's Eve, but this is coming out in 2022. So, Happy New Year, everyone!
Woo!
Happy New Year.
Mereto.
Yes. Yeah, Japanese people love the New Year ritual, right? Like to them, that's like the biggest deal. And
Yes.
we love it too because it's when we get to use our new stationery. Actually, Kelly probably started using it a month ago, so
Oh, you bet. I'm on it.
I was literally looking for my, those daily tearaway calendars when you
Yes.
mentioned it, and I was like, I could not find them, and so I was up all morning just reorganizing my stationery room.
Oh.
Gave myself a huge scratch on my knee because I like fell heavily on my Muji
No.
acrylic container.
Oh,
I know
ouch.
it hurt so bad.
April.
And I was like cleaning and then like, oh, I'm bleeding profusely.
Oh
So-
no, that's not good.
But I got everything cleaned up, so that was nice. So how has your morning been, Kelly?
Oh, it's been great. So I actually went to the post office this morning to deliver our latest venti tier mug, which is something we're going to talk about because we're changing that up. But I had to like wait in line because it was it's going to the UK, and there is this couple in front of me that had two young kids, and the mom was talking to them in Japanese. So when I left, I said "Akemashite omedetou," and she looked at me like, "Whoa." She was just like, "Oh yeah."
Happy New Year.
So it's
back to
been
you.
good. Yeah.
Are you drinking anything cozy this morning?
I'm literally drinking water because I'm a sloth.
I'm like, here's my lukewarm cup of coffee from this morning.
Okay, so I actually left. So April had a live Twitch stream last night, and I was leaving to go to my friend's house, like right when it was starting, but my mom was watching it, and so when I left, I was like, oh, April's got that hot cocoa that looked so good.
And it took me 2 hours to finish the drink.
That does not surprise me.
Some things just don't change, even in 2022. So today's episode is going to be a little bit of a 2021 in review, looking forward to 2022, catching up with our recent planner updates, even though we do that in happy hour, but we don't really go into that as in depth. So just like my chats with Phyllis on these episodes, we're going to each share kind of things that's going on in our life, stationery wise. And we pulled up some questions from this tool called Year Compass that my friend Techo by Tori recommended to me. She said she like downloaded the printable on her iPad and like filled it out to kind of like reset herself. Like and they actually offered it in like A5 digital printables where they format it so you can turn it into a booklet as soon as you print it. So I just thought that was really cool. And then finally we're gonna end it with some fun stationery goals for next year. Just basically an opportunity for us to just eat our own words later down the year.
And also full permission for everyone listening to call us out. Like
No,
seriously,
I
I want to be called out when I mess up because it's going to be a lot.
And then finally, word of the year. And if you guys have not already done so, Hobonichi would have come out with the Omikuji for each year.
Oh yeah.
Each year on the 1st, they have this thing where you can like kind of click a button and then it'll like create a random word for you that's resembles your word of the year from Hobonichi, and I thought that was really fun as well. So yeah, I'll start with my planner updates. How about that?
Yes.
So Kelly,
Oh, you counted all your. Oh boy.
I counted all my journals and notebooks and planners, and it's kind of sobering. And the reason I did that was because I wanted to upload on YouTube Techo Kaiki, which I do every year. And you know, like it's that embarrassing thumbnail where I hold up the stack. It's been that way for 3 years in a row, and like as soon as I upload this, there were literally comments saying, "I've been waiting for this." I'm like, oh,
That's cute.
but I counted all my techos while I was doing that task because I was like, I need to rewrite my techo kaigi. I feel like I changed some stuff since we last talked about techo kaigi.
Yes.
And although my YouTube video shows 10 planners, 10 journals, planners, notebooks, in reality, there's actually, only you guys know this, there's actually 16, okay? There's 16 notes, notebooks, systems, little things. So I included refills and inserts that's not necessarily dated. You know, like for example, my olive edition with the tea log. You know, that's not a yearly diary. It's just something I did.
Yeah,
long
no,
ago.
that's just a fun thing.
And I included the Cosmo Airlight A5 notebook. Like, is that from this year? I feel like that's super old news already. But I included that, you know, because I do morning pages in them. I like dug out.
Are you still doing that?
No, but I want to. So those are like, that's what I'm saying. I included those into my list because I was just like, while I'm here, I'm just going to write down and like take stock of all the notebooks I've been using.
Totally.
So, you know, no shame if you have more than me because I totally understand you, and no shame if you have like not enough because there's always enough planners and notebooks and journals for your needs.
We are all on our own journey.
So if you're interested in learning about my final lineup, the 10 notebooks, you can go onto my YouTube channel at Penguins Creative, where I did kind of go through it one by one and even did some flip through, even my work planner. Oh my gosh, I was like hurrying through the pages, but I'm pretty happy. And for this list that I have, I will actually be sharing this video on YouTube as well. I'm like keeping it at the front of my Hobonichi just so I can remember what's what. And then maybe throughout the year it'll be like a battle royal thing where things drop off or like gets eliminated or things like that. But yeah. So that's one thing. The second thing is I actually got the chance to play with my new planners after Christmas. Because remember you were like opening all your stuff in October and
Yes.
I was like rewrapping them and like saying I'm going to save it for Christmas. So Christmas came around.
Which is so insane.
I actually couldn't find some of my stuff too. I was like, where did I hide them? So, like, for example, the new Kyoto edition Traverse Notebook that my colleagues gave me, my Traverse Notebook 2022 diary, which I didn't know actually started in like a week in December, so I could start using it. The Hobonichi.
It's better than Plotter. I'm just kidding. Just calling out Plotter.
I know. Well, if you get it this year, you can use it next year all the way to January. So that's something.
Oh, very nice.
Hobonichi, I finally got my last box of Hobonichi that I placed an order in last October. Well, this October.
Yes.
Last October from last year. But I got the Into the Forest cover just like you predicted.
Yes, I'm so glad you got it. It makes me happy. But I was like, I told you.
And so that box came with, you know, the Mina Perhonen life puzzle cover.
Yes,
Cute. It's got the Into the Forest. It's got like a day free insert. It's just got a few things here and there that really completed my lineup. I also opened the Thinking of You notebook, which I'm using this year as a planner for the Stationery Cafe for both the podcast and the Patreon. And so that was really fun to set up today. I was like writing down our goals in like the New Year resolution page, and then I was like tracking down all the schedules we have and the guests I'd be interviewing and all that stuff, and then decorating it as well. So that was really fun. I'm like, I am finally feeling that fresh breath of air where I'm like, oh, I'm using new stuff and retiring old ones. Like I can't wait to stuff my old notebooks into this giant Costco like container and just like put it out of my mind. And let's see, I also like had like this spontaneous new journal that came into my lineup like right in the middle of streaming, because I streamed on Wednesday, and last Wednesday, because that was my first day of vacation, I was like, okay, I'm going to take this opportunity to get all my notebooks ready. You know, the usuals, the ritual of like switching into the new cover, putting the clear plastic cover on notebooks, and then adding tabs onto notebooks and stuff. And then I had plans for the A6 Hobonichi Day Free. I was like, okay, it's going to be my streaming planner. It's going to go into the Into the Forest leather cover, the trifold. But then as I was setting it up, I was like, this doesn't feel right. Like the 4 days from 2022, I was like, I don't want to use it for what I had planned. And then like on the spot, inspiration hits, and suddenly the A6 Hobonichi Day Free has become my doodle diary. I'll actually show the listeners on YouTube, but
you should show me too, because I am struggling with my A6 Day Free. So show me.
So people who know me from way back, 2017, no, 2014, when I first started Hobonichi, I started with the A6 English planner, and I had utilized it to do daily doodles and like just writing. So it was literally a duel of like the Uni Pen Fine Liner, watercolor palette, and like Uniball Signal, and that's it. And just so simple little illustrations that kind of captures my day, or like things I want to draw in. Because I did realize over these past few years, I've been accruing so much stationery bits and pieces that it's kind of taking over my cousin spreads. Like, I rarely have space to draw anymore. I just end up using washi tape, ephemeras, all that stuff. And so, Into the Forest, back to my roots, just really restarting my tendency to doodle, and, you know, I think in a way encourage myself to pick up the art practice again in like such a busy life. So I was really happy about this like spontaneous decision.
That reminds me of back when I like watched your YouTube channel before I knew you in person. When Phyllis said, "My friend April, you mean Penguin's creative?"
I still remember that day we met.
Watercolor videos
at the university bookstore. I know, right? So those were like my OG YouTube videos. They were like 1 minute long because I couldn't find like the music on iMovies were like super short. So that was the only length I could adhere to. I didn't know how to look for royalty-free music back then. So I was like, I need to squeeze these. So that was really fun. I really enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to doing more. Like, I'm gonna doodle cookie every other day. And the great thing about it being day free is that I don't have to do it every day, right? Like, it's a sketchbook.
Almost every day.
Almost every day. And the himekuris too. I opened my new himekuris.
So you got the memory one.
The memory one, which is super cute, and I'm gonna pair it with the Thinking of You because I feel like the aesthetics is just like they just click so well. I have the cat one as well.
I have the cat one.
I know you ended up calling it from Cute Things from Japan as well, right? Or where did you get it from?
It was from there.
And then, of course, the color of the year one that we both got, where I forgot the brand already.
I'm so excited for that.
So it's got like it's like a vertical rectangular shaped tearaway calendar, one for every day, and then you get like the color name of the color on top, and then at the bottom is like the imagery that represents that color of Japan. So I'm like peeking.
Yeah.
What's day two? Oh, day two is so pretty as well. I'm
And
not
you and I
showing.
both got that from Cute Things from Japan because,
I know. Yeah.
well, not because, but Ayako included that English translation of all the colors, which I think is so nice of her.
I know. She translated all 365 colors. Like,
That's a lot.
I feel like some
That's-
colors are totally made up names for sure. Like, you know, like sea glass green or something, something like that. Not
It can
really
be a thing.
true color names. But it's really pretty. It's sitting on my desk right now. I'm really excited to use them and tear them out. And I remember Phyllis saying she was going to use it as like references for her daily art practice. Like if like the first day of the New Year's Mount Fuji, so she's going to like doodle or draw or paint Mount Fuji in her journal or something like that.
Wow.
I thought it was
That's
pretty
going to be
cute.
very time consuming to do every
Well,
day. Whoa.
That's kind of what she wants to challenge herself to, though. So I thought that was really cool.
Yeah.
And
That's super cool.
my final accomplishment for today, or like for the end of 2021, was cleaned up my office. I renovated the spatial elements around me by introducing a second Rascog and
Yes.
filling them both up. And then I went into my closet space and like reorganized all my spare notebooks, all my Traverse notebook inserts, all the stamps I have that are too big to fit on my desk. You know, just so much stuff that I own that are usually buried at the back of the closet. And
Yeah.
so it feels nice to like take stock and like just really be like, you have these stuff, April. Can you please use
Yes.
them? And I'm hoping that will
I know.
propel
Maybe I should
me.
get a second Rascog.
Maybe you should. I'm one to the each side of me right now, and it's really nice because I have like a pen station over here. This Rascal's got all my pens, and this Rascal's got all my Traverse notebook and stickers and stuff. So it's
Ooh.
really nice, and I felt surrounded by my weapons, but which is words and paper. The paper cuts are
Yes.
dangerous. But I feel so refreshed, and I feel like hopefully it's going to propel me towards a healthy attitude towards buying stationery in 2022.
Yes.
Like, look at all the stuff you have, use them and enjoy them and have fun with them. And then this way you don't need to feel like you need to keep buying. So,
Yes.
I distinctly remember last year, Phyllis and I started the year with the like, use your stash attitude. And here we are. Not going to say anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, let's just gloss past that part.
And finally, I want to share with y'all this cool thing that Hobonichi had released towards the end of the year called a reminiscent map. Have you seen that? It's
Yes,
really, really
I saw
cute.
it from the Hobonichi like Facebook group, and I was like, I didn't know Hobonichi did this. This is cool.
So it's basically a digital printable, but it's like in the shape of like a board game, and then you can like create your own dice, and it's basically a snake-like path with empty boxes, and then the dice will allow you to roll, and then you use it with your Hobonichi from this year or the past year. It'll roll to a certain date, and then you'll go to that date. And then you slowly fill out the snake-like boardwalk as you go down this map. And then as you do that, you get to go through your old Hobonichi and be like, oh, on this day this happened. Oh, on this day this happened. You know? So it's really, really cute. It's called a reminiscent map because it makes you go back memory lane and like just kind of remember all the fun stuff. So I definitely plan to do that later today by printing it out. Because my Hobonichi is a chunker, and To be honest, like I definitely know a lot of stuff happened in this past year. I mean, I was reading a meme the other day with the Bernie Sanders thing, like, where he sits on the
Yeah.
chair, and people are like saying this thing is only like 11 months old. I'm like, oh my goodness, this meme felt like so far away.
No, it seems like forever ago. Yeah. It seems like
So,
another lifetime ago.
so I'm super excited, and I have one page left on my in my Hobonichi for this year, because today's the 31st. And today we let Cookie out to
Yeah.
play in the snow, so I think I'm just gonna like put a giant photo of Cookie in his
Oh.
snow yeti status and just paste it on this last page, because literally I cannot write in this anymore. It's so crooked, like it's so hard
But you
to
can do that thing where you take it out and like fold
bend
it in
it.
half or whatever. Yeah. I've been
I'm
doing
too-
that with my 5-year.
Oh yeah, because your 5
Yeah.
year is super filled.
It's
My
a chonk.
5 year. I feel guilty about my 5 year. I did put it back into my lineup because I remember
Yeah,
when we
I
did
saw
the
that in your
episode.
video. I was like, wait. I was like, did she get an A5 or something? I'm like, nope. It's just still the old one.
I felt too guilty, so I like I like allowed it back into the lineup. I feel like I just have to like take accountability and like be responsible with my journal and and try to do better next year in it. So that was me. That was my wrap up for this week. I mean, I've only been on holiday for 2 days, and I feel like I did so much already. I'm curious about
Yeah.
your post Christmas situation, with your job and your life.
Oh man. Well, so here's the deal. I was intending to take like almost a solid week off after Christmas, but then like I wasn't actually able to go into work for 2 days due to snow. And
Yeah.
because I live, in Washington and my job's in Oregon, and I'm like, I don't want to go across the bridge when it's like this. So,
Yeah, it's
but
very
when I did
scary.
go, it ended up being fine. But like, and I was gonna be in Seattle like right now with April. It was gonna be super
Oh,
cute,
yeah.
but it was like I just didn't want to drive it. How's this? It's still snowy up there, right?
It's super snowy. It's super not fun. Like
Yeah.
I've been stuck at home for the past 3 days, so 4 days actually. Not
That's
that fun.
nuts. Cause here it's all gone. It's a sunny day today. So,
Oh my goodness, I'm so jealous.
but
We
but
we
if
live
I
on a
drove
hill.
up there,
You
yeah,
wouldn't be able to
oh,
come
no.
in. Yeah, you wouldn't be able to come in.
Yeah, it was just too much, and so I'm like, I just want to go to Seattle when I can actually enjoy it.
Yes.
But yeah, so I'm actually off. So starting today and then through I go back to work on January 5th. So I have some time off.
Wow,
So
even more than me. I go back to work on the 4th.
Yeah, I'm just kind of living it up. I mean, we all have New Year's Day off anyway, so that's like
Oh,
the
maybe
store's
you can
closed.
come up on the 2nd.
But
hopefully.
see, my boyfriend's coming back on the 3rd.
All right, I totally forgot. Whatever.
Finally, yeah, I know it's been so long. But I sent him to Paper Plus Cloth to get, and he said mission accomplished. So I'm like, okay, I think that's a good thing.
That's so exciting. Can't wait to hear what you get. Maybe you can
Yeah.
share it on happy hour.
For sure. Yeah, I really wanted him to go to Wonder Pens, but he like looked it up and they were closed for holiday stuff, and I'm like, oh,
A lot of the shops close all the way until like the first week of January, I think, just for the whole
yeah.
holiday thing.
And it makes sense, I get it. But anyway, so that's been my deal. I was super stressed, but like, yeah, I think it was yesterday. Did I work? No. Yes, I worked yesterday. I'm like, what was that? It was like, it made me feel like Because I feel like during the holidays, I know I've mentioned this, it's really stressful and weird. But yesterday I was like in my element. I was like selling pens. I was making connections with customers. It was really nice. And I just felt so like good about it.
I know. I remember before Christmas, you were like, I don't want to work anymore.
Yeah.
Retail hell. And now you're like, oh, fresh Kelly.
Yeah. It feels good to be doing what I love doing. But anyway, what are we talking about here?
What's your recent planner update?
Well, I was talking about Himekuri. I actually okay, so the Himekuri is the one that April just showed. She has the memory one and the cats one. I have the cats one. I'm wondering, what am I going to do with all these little stickies? There's so many of them. I'm like, because I really love how April, when you look through her planners, she'll use them in different spots. But in my head, I'm like, they're a group. They have to go together.
Like the cat
week is
ones.
themed. Yeah.
The cat ones are not together.
Well,
the cat ones are individual kitties.
Yeah, okay, fine. I don't know. I'm struggling a little with that one, and I'm also struggling a little with the idea of that tear-off calendar that we just talked about, because I'm like, it's so pretty, but I can't tip all of them into the same journal every day. What am I going to do?
I know, so it's going to be as thick as the calendar itself by the end of the year.
I'm just having a little crisis, but I'm sure I'll find some things to do. So my other update is I did refrain from buying another planner since the last time we all gathered here to talk about it. But
wait, what planner was tempting you though? What were you almost buying?
Well,
so many planners.
Yeah, it's bad. I was almost buying either a Cousin Avec or an A5 Day Free, just because we still have some at Oblation. If you're interested, we still have some available. But I'm like, when you stare at it every day, when you go into work, you're supposed to be making money, and then you're like, Hobonichi will take all my money though. So, but I did buy the Reflect cover, the A6 one. And it's so cute, and it's got the little cat button, and there was really no reasoning behind it other than me looking at it and being like, yeah, okay.
When I saw you share that you bought it, my first reaction was like, Kelly. And then, I guess you have to. I mean, it's so cute. Yeah. I'm surprised you didn't get it. I'm surprised you didn't get it in the first order anyway because of the cat button. It's like a cat looking in the mirror or something, right? It's really cute.
Maybe I can use a cat journal. Maybe that
Maya journal.
Yeah, because in April's your day free A6 this year, you were doing a cookie diary. Right? Maybe I could do
it was from last year. I still have it was from last year. It just extends because it's a day free. So
here she is.
Oh.
I feel like cats are less journaling about than dogs. Is that wrong to say? Because they just do their own thing and they're always gone. But anyway, it's fine.
I mean, you take so much photos of
I know.
Maya. Just print it out and paste it in like I do.
I should do that. That would be really adorable. And
nice.
Related to that, my other bullet point was Animal Crossing journal will not be a continuous thing. LOL. because I did literally 4 pages in it, and now I'm like, okay, I think I'm over it.
I found my refill when I was organizing of Animal Crossing. I was like, oh, what's this refill doing here? Oh, it's my Animal Crossing refill. I need to go back to the home decorating game, that Paradise one. It's so fun, though.
I need to download that one, too. And
I totally did not see any snow scene in my Animal Crossing this year.
Oh, no.
I just haven't logged in since, the first snow fell. But... that cute moment when it accumulates, I have not seen that yet.
I've been in a few times, and my friend's 8-year-old wanted me to get some things for him because, you know, he's still kind of in the bare bones of the game. And I'm like, oh, I'll give you 10,000 bells. And he's like, really? I'm like, yeah, whatever. I've got more where that came from. I feel like an auntie, you know, like auntie money bags.
The rich auntie.
only in a video game.
We all relate.
Yeah. Okay, so other than that, yes, I wanted to update on the this guy, the Nolte Pocket Book Journal.
I totally forgot you had this one.
Yeah. And My Life Mitts has this same exact one, so I feel very chic. And I've been, let me see. It's so, like, silly how I was tracking things. Like, this was literally all I did, was write a little tiny amount up at the top that says, Audible, A Shadow in the Ember, and then little check marks when I listen to it. And I'm like, this has to be more exciting. I have to...
Because it's your book journal, right?
Mm-hmm. I know, and because I wanted to track how often I read, how often I listen to the audiobook, and then I like sort of made it a little bit fun this week with this little sticky note thing that's in Korean, but it says my weekly goal. I don't know.
You gotta make it fun like I do. With my media and entertainment spread, I also track like my progress in this book, Wheel of Time, The Eye of the World. And I just like write in it every day in my fountain pen, like, oh, I read to this part.
Did you read the book?
I'm starting the book.
Do you like it?
How far that will go. I like it so far. It's like like scary, but I like push through at moments. but I watched the series and I really like it. So
yeah, my friends really are loving that series, and I just didn't get into it, but I probably should. But I finally finished the Audible book I've been reading since for like months now. I finally finished it, so I'm like, yay! That's one more book to put in my like 2021 read.
Nice.
So anyway, I'm working on that one, and then what else? Oh, I didn't bring it out here, but the Cycles Journal that I've talked about on our Patreon at least twice now, or more than that, and I'm like, am I boring people with this? But it's not fountain pen friendly, really, and it's got a whole, like, every single month it's got this big ass thing about tracking all sorts of symptoms. It's like there's a big section that's related to like menstrual cycle symptoms, but also a bunch of other stuff like I don't know, how many hours did you sleep, did you get creative today, did you do blah. So I'm not using all of them because it's literally a whole page. And I don't think you're meant to use literally every single one, but I just kind of pick the ones I wanted to use. And it's interesting tracking like how many hours you sleep, and like how it relates to your mood and how it relates to your energy level and that kind of stuff.
Nice.
And it's actually nice having a journal that's not about fountain pens, because it's like, all right, I'm just going to go in here, write in the tracking thing, write in, you know, mood, symptom, whatever stuff, and then moving on. And it's nice. It's freeing, because I love fountain pens, obviously, but it's like, for that kind of stuff, it's like data stuff, and it's like, it doesn't have to be a project. It just has to.
That's me with my Bushiman Paw, where I'm tracking the health tracker. Like, I'm not using fountain pens in it as well, but I'm just like,
it's really bad.
Is it Mio paper or thin paper? I forgot which paper they use, but
I think Mio is the bad one, which is what's in there. Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah. So I just pull whatever gel pen I want, and then I just write in it as well, like the mood of the day, how I'm feeling, all that kind of stuff. So that's kind of how I feel you're using the Cycles Journal.
Yeah.
Like, you gotta have one book that's like okay to just be whatever in it.
Yes, that you just put it all out there. And then my last thing, good segue, is the Bushiman Pal. I'm realizing that I did intend for it to be my Patreon / Stationery Cafe, you know, scheduler thing, which it is, But when we did our recording on Patreon with Miranda from Havoc Rose and Joy from Oh Hi Joy, just plugging that one in there, I kind of made this huge, I mean, we all made, these fun
Huge.
spreads, and I was like,
Spreads.
yeah, I was like, hey, I kind of like doing that and decorating it a lot. So maybe I can use it for Patreon stuff and decorating. And then I realized, oh, that's kind of what my thinking of you was. And maybe I'm kind of filling that hole there.
Oh, yeah, because you don't have a thinking of you for 2022.
I did not do it. And it kind of fell into the planner graveyard. But I did use it for like 8 months out of the year. So that's pretty good.
Nice. That's a lot. That's a lot for the year. Yeah, that's totally great. Well, I'm glad. Yeah, and now we're now both using fancy notebooks to track our Stationery Cafe stuff.
Yes.
The one I used last year was PDCA, and it worked out for me all the way till April until I got a new job, and then I was like, okay, I'm too busy to use the PDCA for Patreon and for the podcast, but yeah, I'm really having fun tracking stuff about the podcasts. And I think next year.
Is April, do you not have a Nulty for 2022?
Oh my goodness, I do not have a Nulty for 2022!
The Nulty spokeswoman here, tapping out.
I know, not tapping out, it's just that none of them is really necessary for me. Like, I still think they're great planners. Their paper is right there on top of like what I really enjoy. Like, actually, I'm like kind of regretful that I don't have a Noti, because it's the paper that for me, the perfect mixture of Tomoe River Paper's tolerance for fountain pen and tolerance for stamping. And so
yes,
if like Thinking of You or any of these other books uses Noti paper, I would have been like, just like, it's perfect. But unfortunately this year it's just not filling in any of my needs. I end up having a lot of use from Plotter, from my Traverse notebook, and so yeah, Noti fell off my list this year for 2022. But it's okay. We'll see. Maybe they'll come up with something cool. And then maybe for 2023, because we're already thinking about 2023.
I'm feeling again like this is becoming a sports podcast. Like he fell off the roster this year, but I think he's coming back strong for next year. Let's I don't know, it's kind of,
we're like hilarious. Scouting in like January for the next season.
So good. So
when would our Super Bowl be though? Like September?
Oh my gosh.
Maybe.
Probably September 1st, Hobonichi Day.
Exactly. So that's great. And actually, I forgot one update I had, but I felt like it's not stationery. It's like stationery lifestyle. But I don't know if you guys have seen, Hobonichi is doing a bunch of sale on Amazon Japan, or Amazon in general. Like they are doing 30% off oak covers and 50% off drawer pouches. And I bought...
What?
I bought
off drawer pouches?
Yes, 50% off. So I may or may not have purchased a few. But mostly the container, which is the one that's like a box, and they said it's for storing little things. And I'm actually just using it for storing makeup. So I'm putting them to non-stationary use. Like one's for my nail polish and one's going to be for makeup. But they're super cute, and in the Hobonichi, the pattern.
The realm.
One I got was the green one with like poofy things on it from last year. I forgot which cover that is. And then one is the peacock one, the really pretty peacock one.
Oh,
with with the tassel.
The pale pink and blue.
Yeah, that one too. So they're gonna be my cute bedroom makeup table, vanity desk containers now. And I feel like
I'm upset at this knowledge.
You should go check it out. There's still a lot left, and it's amazing. And okay, I also got one more pocket
Oh.
drawer pouch.
Oh
It's
my
again
God, April.
those cute ones. I was thinking I could use it to put like little lipsticks in my bags, like
Well, if it's
my
50% off, you might as well. That's like buy one,
it's
get one free.
$18 for a Mina Perhonen patterned pocket size drawer pouch. It's so
Yeah.
affordable.
I'm gonna
It's
have to-
amazing.
I'm gonna have to get in
Yeah.
there.
It's great for gift giving too. Like I snagged two actually as belated Christmas gifts for my
Oh.
family in law.
Or
And
gifts
it's
to
like
yourself.
yes, some are gifts to myself, but definitely, it's a great way to introduce your friends and family to Hobonichi. Like, hey,
Yes.
use this as your makeup bag, or like the ane as your little purse and the clutch, and like, by the way, this is from that amazing stationery brand, Hobonichi.
That's so good.
There you go.
Hobonichi must love you, April.
Just how much I spend on them.
Well, and how much you get other people to convert.
Enabling, you mean? That's what we do. It's more like
Yeah.
I want to share. I want people to feel the same joy that I feel when I play and use and touch these items. And I feel
Yes.
like a lot of people can relate. I'm pretty sure they do.
Definitely.
So moving on to the next section, we talked about this. I think it's like a worksheet, a guide called Year Compass that again my friend Tori introduced me to, and it's like a huge worksheet with many pages that makes you reflect on this year, and then questions for next year. And I just think it's a good exercise, and I'm gonna list out the questions here. So if you wanna like work on them yourselves, listeners, you are free to, jot them down. I actually answered mine at the back of my Thinking of You, which is my stationery planner, and
Ooh.
I like kind of wrote down my answers to those.
Yeah.
And then I think Kelly, we can both just kind of like flip flop answer them
Yeah.
in order. So the first question is, what was something I completed this year? And it doesn't have to be stationery. It could be like literally our lives, which is what people
Yeah.
likes listening about. So, so why don't you start? What was something you completed this year in 2021?
I paid off my car. I feel like
Oh my goodness.
I feel like that was a big deal and not something I should just shove under the rug. I should be like, "Hey, I did that. Yeah."
I know. That is so adult of you.
Well, thank you.
Because I haven't paid off my car yet. Oh, I'm jealous now. I want to pay off my car too. That's cool.
I know it was kind of a big deal. That was the first thing that came to mind, and I realized maybe, but it can mean anything you want, because I'm like, is it supposed to be like some kind of personal goal or something? I'm like, no, it can be anything.
I know. I was thinking about the like stationery wise, what have I completed? And I'm just like, I don't really know if I completed any journals or notebooks. Maybe I did complete my T-log insert. Like I filled up a whole book of it. So that's something I completed. And then I was like, okay, another cool thing I completed was I help launched Plotter USA in the
Yeah,
US. So
that's a huge deal.
One of the big things probably this year for me,
Yeah.
which is like I totally did not anticipate coming into 2021, like, and it happened in September, so that was really fun. Or actually September because of the pen show. No, we went to the pen
Right.
show and then October.
Yes.
So that was fun. And the second question is, what is the best thing you have discovered about yourself in 2021?
Yeah. So mine's this is kind of a hot take, but I said literally nothing else matters in life except for your enjoyment of it, or how much you love it. And I feel like it's easy enough to say like, oh, live, laugh, love, huh? But like it's when you realize, like, for example, I live with my mom. I've lived with my mom for quite a few years as an adult, and I've I've personally felt a lot of kind of shame around that for a while. Not
You
not
mentioned that
because
before. Yeah.
yeah, and but it's really not anything to be ashamed of because I get to do what I love for work, and I really love my mom, and we have this like connection that not a lot of people have with their mom. And
The
I think
Janet and Kelly duo. Like, you guys could have your own podcast. That's what I've been saying.
I just think it's important to not let, societal beliefs crack down on your own enjoyment of your life. And like I felt like, oh, am I just being lazy or whatever? But that's not it at all. It's just, this is just working for us, and like whatever,
I love it. And the whole thing you said, like, it's okay to just enjoy your life. And today,
Yeah.
today's still the last day of 2021. So someone sent me like a little video, a TikTok video. Like, it's one of those cute things where it's like a little
Yeah.
illustration. And it's like, hey, it's okay. You don't have to be a better version of yourself next year. You don't
Yeah.
have to. Like, it's not a competition to be better, to have increasing profits. You can just exist, and that's totally fine.
Yes. I like that a lot. That's totally what I'm saying.
And you're like, you just completely bashed down my answer to this question, because in my
Oh,
answer
no.
to this question, I was saying, well, the best thing I discovered was that, I haven't lost my drive and discipline even after a year of not working. So I was like kind of validating myself about
Hey, no,
the
that's
need
great.
to be working. So
Yeah.
I guess I'm grateful for, that I still have the ability to make money, I guess.
Well,
and
yeah,
then
and
also,
you went through like such a huge like, I mean, we all went through a traumatic event last year, but like just
I know.
like specifically your situation with like not being able to legally work in this country for a very long time, and I feel like that was such a huge thing to overcome.
I know, so I'm really happy about that, because like this year, April was when I
Yeah.
finally got my visa, and I was like, oh, I can now work.
Yeah.
So that I realized was something that I very much needed. But then at the end of the year, I'm like, I feel silly for needing that. Or maybe I didn't even need to validate myself from having by doing that. And I think what you answered had reminded me of this, so I'm feeling kind of okay about it. Okay. All right. Third question. What was the biggest challenge from 2021?
Yes, and I mean, for me, obviously, it was the death of my dad, which I feel like is kind of obvious. But like, when I typed that in, I was like, wait, what about like the pandemic that we're still in right now? Let's also, I feel like dad and that, and like just this whole I just want everybody that's listening right now to know that like this is not normal at all, and like frankly, and I've said this before, I think, but just surviving to this point is a big accomplishment. And like
Yes.
we're all doing our best and just trying to get through it, and it's still happening. I don't really see it changing anytime soon. It's like, geez, what are we supposed to do? But yeah, just a whole lot of unknown this year, for sure.
I know my biggest challenge was kind of like this process of trying to go back into the norm. Like, society was like, okay, it's time to
Yeah.
come out and talk to people and be in
Yeah.
like societal situations again. Like, you used to be able to just hide behind your screen, like working remotely, but this
Yes.
year I had to really like reach out more, and so that has been a little bit of a challenge for me. Like, we can't be like, somehow we lost the excuse to be hermits like last year.
Yes.
This year was
And
like,
I'm
we had
no,
to.
I'm still a human.
I know, I'm still a hermit. Like, I felt like it was so much harder this year because for some reason you have to start coming back or something like
Yeah.
that. But the situation, like you said, has not changed at
Capitalism.
all.
Yeah, it's
So it had been really, has been challenging for me going back to work and like
Yeah.
stepping out of my comfort zone again, which was pajamas and like staying at home.
Well, and so something else that that the Year Compass worksheet said, because April sent a link of the whole thing to me, and I was like, oh, she wants me to fill this whole thing out, but it turns out she didn't want me to do that. But I did do like the first part of like, I went through my Hobonichi weeks for 2021 and like just kind of week by week noting events or things that happened that matter to you. And I was like, wait, it was only this March that I got my first COVID vaccine. And I was like, wait, that was only this year. And just looking back, because it was like New Year's journaling, Zoom, hang with TSC peeps, Zoom, journaling sesh with Florence and crew, Zoom. Because I'm like, oh yeah, there's all this Zoom stuff because we were all still not vaccinated. And now that doesn't even matter anymore anyway. It's like, oh my God.
Oh my goodness.
I mean, it does matter. Please go get vaccinated. But
get vaccinated.
Yeah, it's just realizing
we don't want to lose anyone. Like I feel like we want everyone to survive. So please get vaccinated because of that.
Yes.
But that's simple. Seriously, it's just that simple. We don't want you to die.
Yeah. But it's wild to go back and realize, oh yeah, this was such a traumatic year on top of last year, which was also so traumatic. It's just like, hey, trauma, welcome to my home. You're going to live here forever.
At least for another year. Like, honestly, a lot of us were anticipating traveling towards the end of 2021, and then it just like completely, back to square one. So that's a little bit sobering.
Yeah.
Okay, next question. I will love.
Let's move on.
Let's move on. I will love these 3 things about myself. I'm really curious to hear your answers and to share mine.
Yeah, so I said my body for all the hard work it does keeping me alive, because I think it's important to not constantly look in the mirror and be like, wow, you suck. Stop doing that if you're doing that.
That's my first one too.
Oh,
what
really?
does that say about us? Oh my goodness.
Yeah, well, it's so easy to do, and like, when you look at it biologically, it's like, hey, here I am. This got me through. This body I'm in. Like, let's give it some grace here.
I know. Hug yourself.
Yeah.
A little bit.
And then I said my unwavering loyalty to my loved ones, because I am a fierce Taurus that will attack anyone that harms my loved ones. No, I'm not an attacker. But,
Attack.
But my people are my people.
Pierce my enemies with my horns.
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry.
Oh, that's April because she's an Aries.
A little bit of I'm in a high fantasy mode lately because of the novels I'm reading.
And then my genuity, a quality rampant in my dad as well as myself. What you see is what you get.
Take it or leave it.
Yeah. And like a lot of people that knew my dad know that he was extremely like, and this is part of why he ended up not doing so well in retail, was because he was very blunt and just upfront and didn't lie ever about anything, which is a blessing and a curse. So I really take pride in my quality of that too, and people have told me that a lot in my life too, like, you're so genuine. I'm like, yeah, there's no reason to be anybody but yourself. That's my thing.
Kelly dropping all these truth bombs this morning. Really, really nice.
So what about April?
So my first thing was also body image. Like, I feel like it was fun to joke about the COVID-19 pounds in 2020. A little bit less funny in 2021. And then
you're like, oh, there, it's still there.
It's still there, and probably more. And then like next year, well, sorry, this year, 2022, I'm actually hoping to go back home. And I realized one thing that was
Yeah.
like making me hesitate was like I don't want to show my new fat body to my family, and then that
Oh
really hit me hard.
no.
And so I was like, no, I'm not gonna care about it. They're not gonna care about seeing me gain weight. They're gonna be happy to see me. So that's the one thing I'm
Yes.
gonna try to like
April.
love myself. Oh my god, the Asian societal, like Asians out there, you hear me, like the Taiwanese, like you have to be thin, white, and like skinny, and like sorry, skinny was thin, thin, white, and long haired. That's another
Oh
thing.
yeah.
It's a whole thing, but anyway, I'm like, you know what? If they say anything, I don't care. I like you said, this got me through the pandemic, so
Yeah.
I'm gonna try to just have a healthy relationship with it.
Yeah.
Second aspect about myself, I think, is my excitement and my curiosity to learn new things. So I feel like next year I definitely want to take that to the next level, or just kind of maintain it. Like I don't want to stay in the status quo. So exploring new things and try out new things even in 2022. And then my third thing that I love is really kind of similar to the best thing I have discovered about myself this year was, my resilience despite failure or setbacks.
Yeah.
Like I'm really happy about that part of me, about being resourceful and like, despite, coming in late to parties or whatever, I still am able to catch up. So that's something I want to really embrace for 2022. Okay, so looking forward now. We're looking
no.
forward into 2022. Something I want to discover in 2022.
Oh. Yeah, so I said creating my own tarot deck and actually sticking to it because I know I talked about this last year because I was doing such a good job in 2020 and then I just fell off the wagon, and I don't know if that's technically something to discover, but it's like I want to.
No, I think it is.
Yeah, I want to like double down and try.
2022 is a long time. I mean, like 365 days. I think you'll definitely find the time and the energy to do that. So just take it, I think, small step by small step. I think that's a good way to go. How many tarot decks cards are in the deck? 80?
78.
78? Well, that's way less than 365.
Yeah, that's fine. No big deal.
You can totally do it. I'm like, please, we need to have that available in this earth.
Yeah, April's poked me a little bit, and I'm like, okay, I can do it.
Like prodding with a stick.
Yeah.
Well, for me, something I want to discover for 2022 is hopefully a new routine that will allow me to find time to learn new things. So I want to pick up my Japanese. Like I want to learn a new language, kind of like reinstate my learning of Japanese. And then I want to like take some online classes to improve my career like skills, so work skills. So I want to find time to do that. That's something I want to discover. Like, do I have the capability, the time, and the energy to move in those directions? So, it's kind of again like that whole thing. Like, you don't have to do it, but I want to for not because I feel like other people want me to, but because I want to for myself. So hopefully that makes it a little better. I think
Totally.
And then last two question, I think these two I kind of made it stationery wise, but I will have the power to say no to this, and then on the other spectrum, I will pamper myself with this. So what are your answers?
Yeah. I will have the power to say no to impulsive purchases of any kind, which, I mean, LOL, but also, like a lot of us, I feel like sometimes you see the shiny new stationery item and go, oh, I need it, and then you buy it. Like, for example, the TWSBI Jade, which I don't regret it at all. It's wonderful, it's beautiful, but I really want to like really think about it beforehand. And not like, I think April, you had mentioned not wanting to miss out on FOMO or something, and it's like,
Right.
it's a problem for even though we can see it as a concept, the fear of missing out, and it's like you can see it intellectually, and then you're like, this literally happens to me all the time, and it's not a big deal if you don't get the Jade Twisby. Like, who cares?
I know.
But it's really pretty.
I'm that way with the Kotori Machi memo notes.
Oh yeah. See, I've stayed away from Kotori Machi because I don't even want to go there.
And then you pamper yourself with.
I didn't actually put anything there because I pamper myself too much.
I will continue to pamper myself at the rate I do now. How's that?
Or maybe a little decreased.
The little decrease in the pampering.
It's pretty bad.
That's funny. Well, for me, I will have the power to say no to 3 things.
Ooh.
Daiso stationery,
Ooh.
sticker flakes,
Nice.
and new notebooks.
Those are
'Cause I
3
have-
very hard things.
No, I don't think it's that hard. It's just like, these are too easy to get. Like, those 3
Yep.
things are too easy to buy. Because one, like, Daiso stationery is cheap, sticker flakes are small, and notebooks are like, I'll use them. Yeah. and then here we are, like, after organizing, like, these 3 things bother me the most. Like, notebooks taking up space, sticker flakes everywhere that I don't really use, and Daiso stationery that I always end up donating. So these 3 things, I'm gonna try to decrease my consumption of them for 2022.
I like
But
that.
I will pamper myself with new washi tapes.
No.
I'm not gonna feel guilty. I'm not gonna feel guilty about buying new washi tapes. And then storage units, like, that's something I really want. Those pegboards you can put on the wall. Like, I kind of want one of those. I want to buy more acrylic drawers.
I do too. I need more.
Just better ways to organize my stationery. I think that's one thing I really want to.
Well, and acrylic drawers are so good because you can see inside of them. You don't realize how much storage sucks because you can't see anything and you don't know what you have.
You know those Muji drawers that stacks? That's kind of like half, what do you call it? That's kind of like misty looking. What is that word? Matte looking.
Yeah.
And then they close entirely, like it's like a nice box thing. I want to buy a huge set of that next to my table so I can finally put all my memo notes, small things in there without feeling like they're gonna get dusty. So that is one storage unit, like Grail storage unit thing I want. I think Kyla from Rainbow Holic has them, but I don't care how expensive it is. I want that for my desk.
Yeah. Well, because it's gonna it's gonna make you happy and it's gonna organize stuff. So that's awesome.
And they're light. They're easy to move around, and like they're not gonna like get distorted like those cheap ones. The Sterilite, the. Is this called Sterilite? That name sounds weird, but like those Amazon drawer things. So yeah, I don't want that. I want a nice looking Muji one. So that's something.
Muji.
In my bucket list next time I go down to Portland.
Nice.
Yes. Okay, so that's all the questions from Year Compass. I feel like we're finally moving into our last section, which is what are some of your stationery goals? We all love to hear it, and we all love to laugh about it 2 months later.
Yes. Well, and we already touched on April's first one, but you can say it again.
Okay, so the first one is staying within a set budget and learning to not have too much FOMO, because that's my biggest issue. Always with like new stuff coming out, I want them and I know how to get them. Like, damn me for being too smart about like ordering overseas. But I've set up a budget. I talk about my finance tracker and my plotter, and so it refreshes every month, and then I'm gonna stick to it. So if it cuts into my other expenses, that can happen. So I'm really excited to set that in motion starting in January. Second goal, use up more of my memo notes and letter sets so I can buy more. First in, first out, okay? Like, want to buy one. I need to use one. That's probably my goal
I like
for that portion of my stationery collection. Third goal, last goal, enjoy my inks more and one new pen each quarter. One new fountain pen each quarter. Sorry, not regular pens.
Quarter.
I'm talking about fountain pens.
Yeah.
Every 3 months. I said that aloud on my stream, but I don't think Sailor has the capability to come out with new pens each month that entices me. Like, they come out with cool pens all the time.
Especially not Sailor North America. Yes, I'm throwing shade.
Well, like the Japanese limited edition ones are the one I'm really afraid of.
Yeah.
You know, the ones where the Bungukan one, the Kingdom Notes, the Ancora ones, but
Yep.
I'm gonna try to keep it to one new fountain pen each quarter. So next year I'll only be getting 4 more pens, and I think it's doable.
That's
feel like
doable.
it's realistic. So I'm gonna try and do that. What are your stationery goals next year?
Oh God. Okay, so I don't know. I don't think I said this yet. No more new covers. With exceptions. Okay. First exception, if Traveler's Company makes a new leather color, I'll
Oh,
for sure buy that. Just saying, if you guys make a new color, I'm going to buy it. I'm pretty sure like a million other people agree with me. And the only other thing I would break down for is Poe the Kind Cat making it into spring release for Hobonichi, which I'm not holding out hope for. But he was so good and pure, and I want more of him. Or if Sailor Moon and Hobonichi collabed, but that's not going to happen, so I think I'm safe.
wait. So are
Challenge.
you saying you're not even gonna buy a challenge to Hobonichi? So you're saying you're not even gonna buy new covers with the new Hobonichi lineup in September in 2022?
No, see, that was not included in this thought bubble. I didn't get there yet. I mean until September 1st.
No more new covers until September 1st.
Hey, that's
okay.
a big deal. That's a long time.
That's a lot. That's like 3/4 of it.
That's funny that I wasn't even thinking about that.
Like what?
Like,
All right, great. That's realistic. I like it.
My brain only
we'll
goes
keep
so
each
far.
other accountable.
Yes. Okay,
All right,
and then
okay.
we've got purging my fountain pen and ink collection so that I'm only surrounded by my very favorites and be very intentional about new purchases. This will be hard, which I yeah, because I've got a couple Twisby Ecos that I'm just like not in love with, and I'm like, yeah, I can get rid of those. This is not one of them. This is staying with me, Mr. Jade. But
Mr. Jade.
but I've got, quite a
Nice.
few like less expensive fountain pens that I'm not super enamored with that I know would be great like starter pens for other people. So I'm trying to like I'll probably do that. I also have a butt ton of inks, so like a lot. So I really want to like rehome some of those that aren't getting in a lot of love because they all deserve love, you guys. And then the very last thing is no purchasing new sticker kits. Because, okay, sticker kits are so much fun. I love them. I don't want to discourage other people from using them. I'm just saying for myself, I've got a lot of stickers, and I want to go through some of my own stash before I keep buying. So
I'm still on her subscription. So
Well-
that's not a realistic goal for me. But
Well,
I think I agree. I don't use sticker kits as much as I do last year.
And April and I have hung out our dirty laundry here, and if we break what we've just said, please let us know, and we will cry.
And I have no doubt people will say it to us. But it's okay. We're this is good. It's healthy to have these relationships with our listeners who will call us out.
Yes.
On what we promised.
Please.
Please, we're begging you.
Please
keep
do it.
us accountable. And then you'll see us shutting down happy hour like midway through 2022. Because Because I feel like happy hours is what get us into these like little rabbit holes, but I think they're fun though. I still want to do them.
Yeah.
So lastly, do you have a word of the year? Do you do word of the year?
I
Actually?
don't, and I'll tell you why. Actually, I won't tell you why. I just don't really. It doesn't really resonate with me. I don't know. But what's yours, April?
Okay, so my word of the year last year for 2021 was imperfection, because I was going through, the whole visa thing. I was like, it's fine to not be okay. That was all my mentality for last year. And I think it did kind of resonate towards the later half as well. It's totally fine to not be okay and to not be the success I've seen myself at. So it's fine. And I enjoyed that word of the year. But moving into 2022, my new word of the year is courage, because it's kind of like, okay, last year it was like, these are my shortcomings, these are the things that I know I'm afraid of doing and I really don't like doing, and I literally talk to people who matters about the things that I needed to do but wasn't doing. So this year, in 2022, I was like, okay, I need to have the courage to go and do things I'm afraid of, despite me saying I'm afraid of them. So that's gonna be my mantra for this year. It's also I'm also channeling my high fantasy novel mood right now. Like,
Nice.
be courageous and like fight the demons and like battle the biggest bad guy. And I think it's okay if I like get stabbed or like die in the process. As long as I have courage and I move forward, then that's fine. So it's a blend of last year. Like, it's okay if I fail as long as I do it. So that's my word for the year. Facing challenges.
I like both of those words. I want to be the kind of person that has a word of the year, but I don't know. I feel like sometimes if you do that and then you place too much importance on the word and then you get stressed out about it. Maybe it's how I feel about resolutions.
That's why we don't make resolutions.
No, we don't do that in this house. In this cafe.
I like word of the year because it's like it's intentions.
Right.
It's like a guiding thing to turn to when you're feeling a little bit like, what?
Yeah.
In fact, last year I even broke it down to words of each quarter, like imperfection, and then for Q1 was patience, because I was going through that whole waiting thing. It was annoying. Q2 was grit, which is like, okay, I got my visa now, I gotta go do stuff. Q3 was proactive, I tried to plan ahead for next year. And Q4 was worthy, which is appreciation. I'm worthy of anything.
Nice.
So
I love that.
I think I might break down again for more words.
Maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll try. I'll update you guys if I actually come up with one.
So that's it for today. Thank you guys for tuning in with us. Our first episode of 2022. We hope you enjoy it. And as always, we are the Stationery Cafe. We'll talk about fun stationery news on the podcast. Kelly and I have a Patreon where we share more of our life's tidbits, our stationery spreads, our journaling spreads, from the desk of the Stationery Cafe, all that stuff with you on Patreon for as little as $5 and as high as $12. That's it. That's the 2 tiers we're going for. We had eliminated our highest tier because we want everyone to be able to support us even on their budget.
Yeah.
And you can always find us on Instagram as well, where sometimes we post snippets and snapshots of what we talk about. And we look forward to bringing you more fun stationery content into 2022. Bye, Kelly.
Bye, April.